Namaste viewers, I am Zeel and welcome to Zeel's Astrology, your go-to channel for all things Vedic astrology. Finally, Saturn will start moving in direct motion from November 15, 2024. This is a good news because many of the challenges people were experiencing during Saturn's retrograde phase may start to ease up a bit. Looking ahead, Saturn will transition into Pisces on March 29 next year. Once this happens, it won't be returning to Aquarius for another 28 years. That's all the way in 2052. Right now, Saturn is wrapping up its time in Aquarius, which means it's a key period for the planet to deliver the results of your karma. Basically, the actions you have taken so far. Whether it happens during these last few months in Aquarius or after Saturn moves into Pisces, the effect of your efforts and decisions will gradually unfold. Saturn works slowly and gradually it will turn the events or situations as per the results it want to give. This makes the next 4 to 5 months as Saturn finishes its stay in Aquarius a very important and impactful time. So stay patient, keep doing your best, and be mindful of your actions, as this phase is crucial for setting the tone for what comes next. Now, what exactly is this last phase? Well, whenever a major or a slow moving planet like Saturn reaches the final stretch of its transit, especially when it's in its own sign, it's like a settlement phase. During this time, Saturn starts delivering the results of your karma or your actions you have been performing since the beginning of this transit. Think of it like wrapping up a long project. The planet has been observing your efforts and now it's time to settle the accounts. For example, if you have been through challenges or hardships during Saturn's 2.5 years transit in Aquarius, then this is when Saturn begins to gradually reward your hard work. You might notice problems easing up, solutions emerging, or opportunities opening that lead you towards success. By the time Saturn moves into Pisces, it will have already set the stage for the results of your efforts. But keep in mind, everything ultimately depends on your personal birth chart and the karmas you have accumulated. If your actions have been positive and aligned, Saturn will reward you accordingly. If not, it may still guide you toward important lessons during this phase. So as Saturn moves directly through its own sign in this final stretch, it's generally considered a more positive period. But as always, how much you benefit depends on your unique chart and the quality of your karmas. Saturn is currently transiting through the Sattvisha Nakshatra in the sign of Aquarius, and it will go direct in the same Nakshatra. Sattvisha is known for its connection to healing, making it this a positive time to focus on recovery, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual. If you are dealing with any health challenges, this could be one of the best periods to focus on healing. However, this positivity might not feel as smooth as it should be due to the influence of other planetary positions as of now. Like Mars is currently debilitated and its Marak Drishti falls on Saturn in Aquarius and also on Capricorn. Additionally, Saturn and Rahu are exchanging nakshatras. Even though Saturn is now in direct motion and slowly picking up speed, its effect will still be mixed due to these planetary dynamics. Also, Mars will also go retrograde on December 7, which could intensify certain challenges during this time. However, overall, the feeling that everything is going completely out of control or feeling overwhelming may ease up a bit. Saturn is still strong since it's in its own sign, Aquarius, and holds more power compared to Mars, which is debilitated and weaker in influence. Despite Mars's challenging aspects, Saturn will work to stabilize and balance the situation as much as possible. This is a time when patience will play a major role. So use this energy to make wise and well thought out decisions. Avoid falling into impulsive decisions driven by jealousy, anger, or the emotional turbulence that Mars in its current weak position might stir up. Here's something important to note: Saturn won't support decisions made out of negative emotions like jealousy or anger. However, even if you act impulsively, as long as your intentions are pure and the action is for a good cause, Saturn will back you. That's when the other planetary positions will align in your favor. As mentioned earlier, this is also a great time for healing. But remember, Saturn is still in an exchange with Rahu through their nakshatras. Rahu can signify cheating, so be cautious about who you trust, especially when it comes to medical practitioners or healers. Ensure that whoever you choose to help with your healing is genuine and trustworthy. Avoid falling for frauds or unqualified individuals. If your healer or medical practitioner is authentic, this period can be incredibly effective for addressing health issues. But Saturn requires efforts. It's not enough to rely on external help. You need to actively work on improving your health and well being, like changes in your diet or performing exercises or doing anything which is required to maintain your health. Saturn rewards those who put in the effort to take responsibility for their healing journey. With Saturn now moving direct, the feeling of anxiety, restlessness, frustration, and stagnation you may have experienced during its retrograde phase should start to ease up. This shift will especially impact the areas of life connected to the house where Aquarius falls in your birth chart. For example, if Aquarius is in your 4th house and you have been struggling to find a house or dealing with property issues, Saturn may now help you find a solution. The solutions Saturn provides might not always align with what you want, but they will align with what is ultimately right for your growth. During this last phase of Saturn in Aquarius, the planet will do its best to resolve any long-standing issues for those who have been putting in genuine hard work, especially when their efforts are for meaningful or ethical purpose. Why does the right cause matter here? Let's take an example. Imagine at your workplace, person A is jealous of person B because B is more skilled or successful. Instead of working hard to improve their own skills, A used unethical means to bring B down, such as gossiping or creating obstacles. Even if A is technically working hard, it's not a positive karma as in Saturn's eyes. Saturn doesn't reward actions driven by jealousy or unethical intentions. However, for those who have been working hard with sincerity and integrity, Saturn will strive to resolve their challenges during this phase. Whether in Satapisha Nakshatra or in Purva Bhadrapad Nakshatra, Saturn values fairness and will ensure that genuine efforts for a rightful purpose receive their due rewards. Please note that Purva Bhadrapad will have its own different flavor, and I will talk about it later in a separate video. This is an excellent time for professionals in medical field, doctors, surgeons, yoga practitioners, and spiritual healers. It's also a great phase for those working in pharmaceutical companies, researchers, scientists, and even creative professionals like writers, especially those in fictional writing, and people in creative industries as well. Saturn in this position strongly supports research and innovation, particularly in medical field. We might see advancements in technology, the development of new medicines, or even breakthroughs in treating previously untreatable or complex diseases. One important thing to note is that Saturn's job isn't always to resolve everything, but rather to clarify and clean up. If Saturn feels that certain things, whether habits, situations, or even relationships, are not needed for the next phase of your journey, it will help you cut them out or clear them away. This may feel tough in the moment, but it's ultimately to help you avoid unnecessary complications as you move forward. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you do not miss any updates on my channel. Like and share our videos with your friends and family, and to book consultation with me, just drop me an email. You can also follow me on Instagram as well. All the links are provided in the description box below. Now let's start with ascendant wise analysis. Aries ascendant. Now for Aries native, Saturn is the ruler of your 10th house and 11th house. Right now Saturn is transiting through your 11th house in the sign of Aquarius and will be going direct in the same house. This is the last phase of Saturn in Aquarius, which means it's time for Saturn to start fulfilling your desires if your karmas are aligned with the right path. If you have been feeling stuck or frustrated in your career, especially with repetitive tasks or lack of growth, Saturn might now work to smooth things out. For those awaiting a promotion or a higher position at work, this period could bring a positive change. But it's important to stay patient and keep putting in the effort. Now, there's one note of caution. Since other planetary positions are not entirely favorable right now, be very careful when making decisions related to your career. Analyze the situation thoroughly before moving forward. While Saturn going direct will ease some of the challenges, you might still face minor issues in your social circle, particularly with friends, elder siblings, or community connections. However, if you have been searching for employment for a while, this is a good time. Saturn may finally reward your persistence and hard work with positive results. Now, the third aspect of direct Saturn falls on your first house. This aspect can bring some relief if you have been facing health issues. You might not experience complete recovery, but you will likely to feel a noticeable improvement. If anxiety has been bothering you during Saturn's retrograde phase, this direct motion could bring some calm and clarity. Saturn's 7th aspect falls on your 5th house, Leo, which is a great time for those looking to conceive a child. However, if you are considering investments, especially in speculative markets or cryptocurrencies, be very cautious. Avoid putting large sums into high-risk ventures during this period. Finally, Saturn's 10th aspect falls on your 8th house. This could provide an opportunity to resolve relationship issues with your in-laws if you wish or if you want to do so, particularly if these have been strained during Saturn's retrograde phase. This is also a reminder to prioritize your health and avoid neglecting any underlying concerns. Taurus ascendant. For Taurus native, Saturn will be getting direct in your 10th house. Until now, there was a lot of frustration and lot of anxiety and hard work in your career. So this phase will gradually bring relief. Those of you who wanted to change jobs during Saturn's retrograde might now find the path to do so. Saturn will start easing the burden and showing you how to transition to a new role, especially if you have worked hard with patience and integrity. If you have worked really hard with full faith and honesty, upholding your dharma, if you have passed Saturn's test over the past 2 years, staying honest and dedicated, this last phase can bring positive results. However, the rewards will come slowly and steadily in true Saturn fashion. If you have had conflicts with your father, this is a great time to resolve those issues. Patience and clear communication can help heal misunderstandings. Now, the third aspect of Saturn falls on your 12th house. Saturn's third aspect is all about purification. If you have been dealing or if you have been walking the path of spirituality, this aspect can deepen your connection to your inner self and help you understand life beyond material gains. If you have been carrying emotional or karmic baggage, this is a great time to reflect, acknowledge past mistakes, and let go of negativity. Even now, the seventh aspect of Saturn falls on your fourth house. If you face delays or difficulties purchasing property, during Saturn's retrograde, this period may bring some progress. However, ensure all necessary documentation is in order. While it's not an ideal time to invest in property unless absolutely necessary, family issues can also be resolved during this time, but only if you genuinely want to address and heal them. Now, the 10th aspect of Saturn falls on your 7th house. Saturn's 10th aspect on your 7th house of marriage and partnerships might make relationships feel challenging, particularly while Sun is in Scorpio until mid-December. After this, things will start to improve, but only if you put in the effort to work on the relationship. Saturn will make you both come face to face and resolve those issues. Saturn encourages facing issues head on, whether it's repairing a strained marriage or ending a toxic one. If you are in business and have worked ethically over past 2 years, Saturn will now slowly reward you with positive results. The key is to be patient. Nothing will happen overnight, but steady progress will come. Gemini Ascendant. For Gemini native, Saturn is currently transiting your 9th house and will soon go direct in the same house, which means your luck will start to improve. Why? Because retrograde Saturn is considered very good for spirituality when it's in 9th house. The spiritual work you have done during Saturn's retrograde phase will now start to bear fruits as Sun moves direct. However, this applies only if your spirituality has been genuine. If you have been dealing with health issues, especially during Saturn's retrograde phase, this direct phase in Aquarius should help you resolve or improve those health issues. Saturn and Rahu are in Nakshatra exchange, so there can be minor health issues until Saturn changes its Nakshatra to Purva Bhadrapad. But this period will actually provide you quite more relaxation than before. So basically, this direct Saturn in the 9th house is considered very beneficial. It will start bringing new rewards for you, and your luck will begin to favor you. Any issues you have had with your father or in-laws can be resolved during this time. The third aspect of Saturn falls on your 11th house. Now, the 11th house represents your gains and desires. Saturn will approve or grant your valid desires which you deserve and where you have worked hard to achieve it. And during the last phase of Saturn's transit in Aquarius, it will even try to resolve any issues with your friends or elder siblings. Saturn's 7th aspect falls on your 3rd house. If you have been planning to start something new and have been working hard towards it, this aspect will give you positive results instead of restricting you. And apart from that, any issues with your neighbors either will get resolved or it will bring an end to it. And if you have any issues in relationship with your younger siblings, then this is the time when you both can sit and communicate and resolve those issues together mutually. Saturn will provide you the opportunity to do that. Finally, Saturn's 10th aspect falls on your 6th house. Until mid-December 24, this period is favorable for clearing any competitive exams. If you have faced challenges or enemies over the past 2 years, this time Saturn can provide you with the strategies and guidance to overcome them. If you have been dealing with health or legal issues, Saturn will offer necessary guidance or positive results. Cancer Ascendants. For Cancer natives, Saturn is going direct in your 8th house. We should not forget the fact that Saturn is in your 8th house, so there can be only slight relief in your health issues, if any. But the same Saturn can actually help you improve your health if you wish. It might sound weird to you, but it's a fact. Saturn is all about dedicated hard work. If you focus on improving your health and put in the hard work, Saturn will guide you towards solutions and improvements. You may also experience unexpected changes or transformation in your life. This is also a good period for resolving any misunderstandings with in-laws, but only if you genuinely want to. Honestly, for Cancer natives, this time is a very tricky period for you since Mars, being your fifth and your 10th lord, is debilitated in your first house, your ascendant. So, Mars will also play a major role in impacting you both mentally and physically. It's crucial for Cancer natives to adopt patience and wisdom in order to have a balanced life. Apart from this, if your chart permits, then this placement can provide you ancestral property or gains during this period. Since Mercury and Sun are transiting Scorpio and Saturn is transiting your 8th house, this is the best period for learning anything which is rooted deep down, where deep diving is required, say astrology, mysticism, occult sciences, or any research work as well. Both Ketu in Uttar Falguni and Saturn in 8th house can support you in starting new research work or exploring areas that require deep focus and dedication. However, the key is to approach this thoughtfully and avoid impulsive decisions. Right now, Cancer natives might feel emotionally overwhelmed due to the challenges in life, especially with the ascendant not being in a favorable position. If you are dealing with health issues, it's very important to be cautious when seeking help. Make sure to choose an authentic healer or medical advisor. If you have been dealing with family or relationship issues, this period might bring slight relief, but not too much because Mars is aspecting your 7th house. And this aspect of Mars suggests being mindful of your emotions. Don't let jealousy or frustration create unnecessary problems. Prioritize open and honest communication with your partner and care for their health. Now, Saturn's third aspect falls on your 10th house. If you have been on the ethical path in your career until now, then Saturn will provide you positive gains or better opportunities in your career. Saturn's 7th aspect falls on your 2nd house, Leo. Influence on the 2nd house can strengthen family bonds if you have been fulfilling your responsibilities. If there are misunderstandings, this is a good time to resolve them with a genuine effort. You might continue to feel some restrictions because of your family, but it's also a favorable period for improving your food habits, and drinking more water will be recommended as Saturn is aspecting your 2nd house. Now, Saturn's 10th aspect falls on your 5th house. Retro Jupiter, Rahu and Saturn aspecting your 5th house, and as of now Mercury and Sun transiting Scorpio. This makes an excellent time to learn something new, learn new skills, avoid risky investments in stock markets or cryptocurrencies. Invest wisely because debilitated Mars in your first house can make you think that whatever you are doing is the right thing. But it might not be the right thing, especially investment part. Invest your money only if you are 100% sure and avoid risky investments as much as possible. For students, if you have worked hard, then this period will provide you positive gains. A good time for mantra chanting as well. And your children are likely to do well in their studies or achieve something meaningful during this time. Financially, things are looking positive, so there's no need to worry too much. Leo ascendants. For Leo natives, Saturn rules your 6th and 7th house, and Saturn is currently transiting your 7th house and will be going direct in the same house. So direct Saturn in your 7th house and retro Jupiter in your 10th house, obviously a good time for financial gains. However, you will need to be careful with your spendings as Mars is in your 12th house. While there will be gains, there will be also some expenses to manage. If you have been in toxic relationships, Saturn can help you gradually resolve those issues or even move on from them. If your partner has been facing health problems, this direct Saturn could provide some guidance or solutions if you are willing to work through them together. And if you are thinking about marriage, Saturn can bring that possibility during this period. You might even find a life partner. However, keep in mind that Mars is aspecting your 7th house with its Marak Drishti, which could create some challenges. So it's important to stay cautious and mindful in this respect. One more thing, that Saturn in the seventh house often brings karmic relationships. So, anyone who enters your life during this time, especially in your partnership, whether in business or personal, will likely have some past karma to resolve with you. It's also a favorable time for those having business, and you can also start new ventures during this period. Since Saturn and Rahu are in Nakshatra exchange with each other, make sure you do not blindly trust anyone in any paperwork or money matters when it comes to your business. Read all documents carefully before signing any contracts or agreements. Now, Saturn's third aspect falls on your ninth house. Earlier, you might have this feeling that your luck is not favoring you, or luck is not working. It won't be the same case this time. Your luck will start to turn around. Even though it might be a slow process, this period can also help improve your relationship with your father if you are open to it. If you plan on traveling, make sure to plan carefully to avoid any potential issues along the way. It's best to avoid conflicts while traveling. Now, Saturn's seventh aspect falls on your first house. If you have been attentive towards your health issues, if you have been disciplined and organized in your lifestyle, then Saturn could guide you towards better health. This is also the time when you can work on improving your personality as well. It's also a good time for spiritual growth. If you have been trying to lose weight, the Saturn transit might help bring positive results. Just make sure not to let your ego levels elevate, because Sun will now be under the 10th aspect of Saturn until December mid. If you let your ego rise too much during this time, then even direct Saturn won't entertain such ego. So stay humble and focused. Saturn's 10th aspect also falls on your 4th house, Scorpio. For those of you who have been trying to buy or sell property for a long time without success, this direct Saturn can help make that happen. Many Leo ascendants may find the opportunity to purchase property or assets during this period. However, it's important to stay cautious, as Mars, the 4th house lord, is debilitated in your 12th house. So it might happen that you end up purchasing a property or asset without doing all the necessary checks. So before buying any property or asset, make sure the title is clear and that there are no disputes or hidden issues. If you don't take these precautions, then it might happen that after purchasing a property, you might realize that you have been cheated, because Rahu also aspects Scorpio. That's why you have to be very cautious of cheatings. If your mother has been dealing with health problems, this period could bring some relief. With Sun transiting Scorpio until mid-December and Mercury transiting until the start of January in the sign of Scorpio, there may be improvements in her health during this time. Virgo ascendants. For Virgo native, Saturn rules your 5th and 6th house and is going direct in your 6th house. This is actually a pretty good position when it comes to dealing with enemies or adversaries. Saturn can help you come up with the right strategy and give you the patience needed to overcome them. This is also a great time if you are facing any competition, especially in exams. If you have worked hard so far, Saturn is likely to bring positive results. If you have been involved in any legal disputes and have been waiting on a decision, expect some positive outcomes as well. During this final phase of Saturn's transit, Saturn will also start to shift your daily routine as it prepares for its next transit in Pisces. So be ready for these changes. And if you have been looking to reduce stress or simplify things, this period can support that too. Since Saturn is also your 5th lord as well and aspecting your 8th house, this is not a good time to invest in speculative markets. In fact, this overall period is not a good period for investment in speculative markets. We have seen the market struggles lately, so I would suggest being cautious with investments. If you do decide to invest, choose low risk options and think long term. Since Mars is aspecting Saturn and your 5th house, be especially careful with how you communicate. Use the wisdom of Jupiter and Saturn's patience to counteract any impulsiveness from Mars, especially when it comes to decisions about your children, your daily life, and your health. Finally, Saturn in the sixth house can help you improve your health if you are open to it. But remember, Mars is also influencing Saturn, so it's important to approach any health decisions with patience and not act too aggressively. Saturn aspects your 8th house. So, as said earlier, it's not a good time to invest in stock markets. Also, be extra cautious with your health. Try to avoid unhealthy food, alcohol, smoking, or any substances that could harm your body. Saturn's third aspect is all about purification. So, if you wish, this period can help you improve or mend strained relationships with your in laws. You will also need to be cautious about your spouse's health during this time. On a brighter note, expect some unexpected gains. Now, Saturn's aspect falls on your 12th house. Though Saturn gets direct, you might still experience some disturbances in your sleep. So it's really important to keep stress levels low. Remember, Ketu is currently transiting your first house and is transiting your 12th Lord's Nakshatra. This can add to your sleep disturbances. If you have been wanting to go abroad, this could be a good time for that, especially if your chart supports it. However, there could be some unwanted expenses as well. Now, Saturn aspects your third house with its 10th aspect. The period until mid-December can be favorable if you want to start something new. But be cautious, especially since Rahu is in your 7th house. Watch out for any potential cheating and make sure to read all documents carefully before signing anything. This period will also help reveal the true nature of those around you, especially your neighbors. Whether it's positive or negative depends on your chart, but it's a good time to address any misunderstandings with siblings or people close to you. If you are involved in communication, writing, or in travel industry, expect some positive developments in your career. Just remember not to be too harsh in your communication and focus on improving your communication skills. Lastly, don't overlook your health with Ketu in your first house, Saturn in your sixth house, and its aspect on your 8th house. Health issues could definitely should not be ignored. Libra ascendant. For Libra natives, Saturn is currently transiting your 5th house and will be going direct in the same house. So for those who have been struggling with conceiving a child, you might start seeing positive results during this time. Of course, depending on your personal horoscope. For those with children, if you have been worried about their health, you will notice some relief, but you might still feel a bit restricted when it comes to experiencing full happiness in this area. If you are looking to purchase a property, there's a chance for positive results, but you might have to face few hurdles since Mars is aspecting your 4th house. Just be cautious with the documentation work to avoid disputes later on. If you are applying for a loan or to purchase a property, this period could also be favorable, but don't stretch your budget too much. Saturn in your 5th house, whether retrograde or direct, isn't ideal for speculative investment. So if you are considering investing, it's best to go for low risk, long-term options. For students, if you have been putting in the effort, your hard work will slowly start paying off. Stay motivated, especially if you are preparing for competitive exams. Now, Saturn's third aspect falls on your 7th house. I always say that Saturn's third aspect purifies that particular house. So if you are married, then any troubles in your marriage will slowly and gradually start to cool down or may come to any conclusion that seems perfect to Saturn for its next transit. It's also applicable to any romantic relationship since Saturn is in your 5th house and aspecting your 7th house. However, your spouse might continue facing health issues since Mars, the 7th Lord, isn't in a good position. If you have been facing obstacles in starting something new, like a business or a venture, this last phase of Saturn and Aquarius with its aspect on your 7th house can bring positive results. However, it might not be the way you desire. It can be something different. If you are planning to initiate something, whether it's expanding your business or working on contracts and deals, make sure to go over all the paperwork and documentation carefully. If you have put in the efforts to improve your communication skills, this will give you an advantage in your professional life. Now, the 7th aspect of Saturn falls on your 11th house. If you have worked hard, Saturn will start bringing you rewards, but they might not be in the way you expect. Saturn tends to operate in its own unique way, so stay positive and accept whatever comes your way. However, keep in mind that your 11th house is currently affected by Ketu on one side and Mars on the other side. This could mean that the gains you receive may be slow and not exactly what you wanted. Also, with Ketu in your 12th house, you will likely to have some expenses, so be mindful of your spendings and avoid unnecessary purchases. Avoid getting into arguments with higher authorities, and don't make any major career decisions without thoroughly thinking them through. Satisfaction with your career or income may come, but it will require patience. Keep your mind balanced and stay focused. Saturn's 10th aspect falls on your 2nd house, the sign of Scorpio, which is particularly affected right now. So be very careful with your speech, especially when communicating with family. If you have been maintaining a healthy lifestyle, this period may bring you positive results regarding your health. You may also face some family issues, but Saturn's influence will give you the chance to resolve them if you choose to work on them. Additionally, Jupiter's 7th aspect will help mend any strained or broken relationships, providing opportunities for healing. Scorpio Ascendant. For Scorpio native, Saturn is currently transiting your 4th house. If you have been dealing with health issues related to your mother, whether physical or mental, there might be some slight relief. I say slight because Mars is aspecting Saturn with its destructive or Marak Drishti. Though Saturn holds the upper hand since it's in its own sign, still there could be some challenges. It's essential to take extra care of your mother's health until Mars moves to Virgo in mid 2025. Since Saturn is in Satyabhisha Nakshatra, this period could bring opportunities to resolve underlying health issues for your mother. But make sure to consult an authentic medical professional for any treatment. This is also a good time to mend any strained relationships with your mother or within your family, especially at your home. Slowly and gradually, you will stop feeling the frustration or restriction at your home. There might be some tension with your younger siblings or neighbors, but things should gradually settle down. Be very careful with your speech, your communication, especially in public. If you have been facing challenges in purchasing a property or dealing with property related issues during Saturn's transit in Aquarius, you might see some movement or progress in that direction during the last phase of Saturn in Aquarius, or it will start working in that direction. And once Saturn enters Pisces, it could encourage you to make that purchase. However, be cautious about the documentation work. Now, Saturn's 3rd aspect falls on your 6th house, which means that your approach to dealing with challenges, enemies, or competitors will be more strategic, though slow moving. So keep your patience intact. If you have been working hard for competitive exams, then this period may provide you positive gains, especially for those who want to appear for public sector exams. And if you have been following the path of Dharma until now, Saturn's aspect on your 6th house will actually help you overcome all obstacles, especially any obstacles that are created by your enemies. Your luck will favor you in overcoming the obstacles successfully. Also, this last phase of Saturn will also help you slowly and gradually reduce your debts. Now, the seventh aspect of Saturn falls on your 10th house. Possibility of promotions or increments for those working in public sector or long established roles are there. However, while opportunities will arise, you might also face increased responsibilities, and there could be some disputes or issues with higher authorities as well. And if you are feeling frustrated or dissatisfied with your career, then think twice before making major career decisions such as quitting your job. I would recommend that you only make such major decisions if you have a backup plan. Current period is not a proper period to make impulsive decisions solely on basis of emotions and not done on the basis of practical thinking. Now, the 10th aspect of Saturn falls on your first house. This aspect can provide you with guidance for improving your health, especially if you have been working on it. Focus on eating healthy, stay hydrated, and avoid unhealthy substances like alcohol or smoking. This transit will support your efforts towards improving overall well-being. If you have been walking the path of Dharma, if you are true to yourself and others, Saturn alongside Jupiter's aspect will reward you with positive outcomes in the long term. This phase is a time for growth, where the results will be in line with the efforts you have made to transform and better yourself. Sagittarius Ascendant. For Sagittarius native, Saturn is currently transiting your third house and rules your second and third house. If you have faced difficulties in initiating new ventures or projects, this phase may present a favorable time to push forward. Saturn's direct motion can assist in cleaning any past obstacles, allowing you to make steady progress, provided you approach things with caution and wisdom. And this period can also help you resolve any underlying issues with your younger siblings or with your neighbors if you desire. However, since Mars is aspecting Saturn with its 8th aspect, it's advisable to be extra careful while traveling. Avoid getting caught up in disputes or conflicts during your travel, and plan your trips well in advance to prevent any disruptions. Now, Saturn's third aspect falls on your 5th house, Aries. Now, Saturn aspecting Aries and debilitated Mars transiting your 8th house. It's not a good time to invest in speculative markets. If you wish to invest, it's best to focus on low risk long-term assets rather than making high risk investments, especially in volatile markets. Be careful with your children's health, especially until Mars is in your 8th house. Those who are expecting children during this time, who are pregnant, should take extra care of their health. For students who have been working hard in your studies, then Saturn will slowly and gradually provide you positive results. However, minor ups and downs are expected along the way. For those interested in astrology, occult sciences, or research work, this is a favorable time to dive deeper into these areas. Now, the 7th aspect of Saturn falls on your 9th house. Luck will gradually start favoring you. Though your 9th house, Leo, is in Pap Kartari as of now, expect some restrictions as well, particularly regarding your father's health. But still, it's better than what it was with Saturn retrograde. There can be long journeys, and if you are traveling abroad, then be cautious with disputes or any sort of frauds. Again, plan your trip in advance. One more thing here, any major changes that you make in your career or in your job might impact you for a long term. So make your decisions wisely. Now, the 10th aspect of Saturn falls on your 12th house. So since as of now, Mercury, your 10th lord, is transiting your 12th house, there are chances of traveling abroad due to your career. Be careful of your speech and your health issues, and be mindful of unnecessary expenses. Lastly, it's a very positive period for indulging in spiritual practices. Just grab this opportunity and go for it. Capricorn Ascendant. For Capricorn native, Saturn is currently transiting your second house and is getting direct in the same house. Saturn in this position can provide you opportunity to resolve any underlying issues within your family. Saturn can also provide you with positive financial gains if you have been on the path of dharma. Saturn will not only provide you financial stability but new financial resources as well. And yes, since Saturn rules your ascendant, your first house as well, you have to be careful with your health issues as of now. The third aspect of Saturn falls on your fourth house. If you have been fulfilling your responsibilities at your home, the responsibilities of your mother faithfully, then Saturn will provide you relief in matters related to that. Slowly and gradually, you will stop feeling the frustration or restriction at your home. This last phase of Saturn in Aquarius could also help you purchase a property during this time. Just be wise with investment as your fourth lord Mars is in debilitated position. Also be cautious with your speech, especially at your home and in the public as well. And if you are purchasing a property, do it very wisely. Now Saturn aspects your 8th house with its 7th aspect. Saturn aspecting your 8th house can create health challenges for you if not taken care of. A good time for those who want to learn occult, astrology, mysticism, or those who want to do research work. Also a positive time for those into fields like mining, technical field, or such similar professions. The 10th aspect of Saturn falls on your 11th house. In fact, your 11th house is also aspected by Jupiter as well. It's a good time for gains. I would mention once again that if you are on the path of dharma, then you will be provided positive financial gains. These gains can also be in form of knowledge or spirituality as well. Saturn will also provide you an opportunity to mend any strained relationship with your elder siblings, your friends, or social circle. Aquarius Ascendant. For Aquarius natives, Saturn is currently transiting your first house and will be going direct in the same house. Finally, for Aquarius natives, Saturn is in the last phase of its transit in Aquarius. Slowly and gradually, it's moving forward in its direction towards the sign of Pisces. So if you have been experiencing health issues, Saturn's direct motion will start to offer some relief. While it won't completely resolve all your health challenges, especially with Ketu transiting your 8,000 Mars debilitated in your 6th house, you will notice gradual improvement. This phase will also bring about changes in your personality, influenced by the experiences you have gained during Saturn's transit through Aquarius. These experiences will provide new insights and perspectives that will be valuable in the long term, shaping your future decisions and growth. Saturn can also provide you new strengths if you have learned to at least face your fears and confront them. Since Saturn is transiting your first house, drink lot of water as Saturn tends to shrink water intake. Now the third aspect of Saturn falls on your third house. If you have worked on improving your ability to communicate, Saturn will reward you with the ability to express yourself more effectively. For those who have been struggling with anxiety or depression, expect some relief as well, as Saturn can offer new courage to face challenges. However, there may be some ups and downs with neighbors or minor disputes, so it's best to avoid unnecessary confrontations. With your third lord placed in your 6th house, any disputes could escalate if not handled carefully. Saturn can also provide you new courage to initiate something new. Make sure you do it wisely with all the analysis done and do not make any major impulsive decisions regarding new ventures. Now Saturn aspects your 7th house. For those in toxic relationships, this transit could provide the opportunity for resolution or a way out. The 10th aspect of Saturn falls on your 10th house. Your 10th house, the Scorpio part, will see major changes in your life. If you have been on the path of dharma until now in your career, this is the time when both Saturn and Jupiter will provide you positive outcomes. Though there can be hurdles as of now, as your 10th Lord Mars is in your 6th house in a debilitated position. So it's advisable not to make any major career decisions without properly analyzing the situation. Avoid any disputes with higher authorities unless and until necessary. Pisces Ascendant. For Pisces native, Saturn rules your 11th house and 12th house and is currently transiting your 12th house and is turning direct in the same house. This could bring opportunities for travel, especially for those who have been waiting for visas or other travel related matters, provided your chart supports this. However, while traveling, be cautious about your health and avoid disputes. Saturn's position in the 12th house can also bring some challenges, such as sleep disorders, anxiety, and restlessness. It's important to maintain a healthy routine to mitigate these issues. This includes avoiding excessive work stress, limiting screen time late at night, and sticking to a balanced daily schedule. If you focus on maintaining a proper diet and sleep routine, many of these health issues, including sleep disturbances, can gradually improve. For those in medical field or working in hospitals, clinics, this period looks favorable, bringing positive results. Additionally, this is a great time for spiritual practices. Saturn in the 12th house can enhance your connection with the spiritual realm, but it can also bring expenses or losses if your desires are not aligned with reality, as Saturn also rules your 11th house, the house of gains. Now, Saturn's third aspect falls on your second house. As said earlier, if your food habits are right, if you are avoiding any intoxication, then you will see positive results relating to your health issues if you have any. If you have been working hard to mend any strained relationships with your family, then Saturn might provide you the opportunity this time to mend those relationships. If your desires are valid, then Saturn will provide you new financial resources and stability slowly and gradually. Now, Saturn aspects your 6th house with its 7th aspect. This brings positive energy for those appearing for competitive exams or dealing with challenges from others or enemies. This final phase of Saturn in Aquarius could also help reduce any debts or financial burdens you may be facing. Now, Saturn's 10th aspect falls on your 9th house. Both Saturn and Jupiter aspecting your 9th house is one of the best things for spiritual enhancement. If you have been walking the path of dharma, the path of righteousness, then your luck will favor you positively. It's also a positive period for those who want to pursue higher studies or want to go abroad for higher studies. Long journeys are on cards for many Pisces people. Just make sure to plan your trip well in advance. Overall, take care of your health as well. So that's it for today. Do remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Have a wonderful day and meet you in the next video. Until then, take care and namaste.